alignment-based yoga. And today we'll be focusing quite a bit on the legs and the hip sockets and also belly. And if you have yoga props at home, please get them. You could use 2 blocks and a blanket and a strap. Although if you don't happen to have these props, it's okay too. We can still make do. So here we go. Come on down to your backside. And if you have a blanket, put that underneath your head. And grab your 2 blocks. Bend your knees. And then take your knees out to the sides and bring the soles of your feet together. This is Supta Baddha Konasana. And a great way to do this pose, especially at the beginning of class, is to support your thighs with blocks. Put the blocks underneath your thighs. And I like to angle my blocks so it's on a smooth edge there and it's comfortable. If you don't have blocks, a different thing that you could do would be to make fists of your hands and just wedge those fists right up there near your sit bones. And that kind of gives you a little speed bump there and it makes it more comfortable. And then close your eyes and settle in. Atta Yoga Anushasanam. That's Yoga Sutra 1.1, the very first one. And it means now yoga begins. Bring your awareness into your belly. And as you breathe, feel that you are expanding through your belly. Allow your breaths to be slow and smooth. And then next, bring your breathing focus into your side ribs. And as you inhale, feel that you are expanding your ribs out to the sides, like you're breathing through fish gills. And when you exhale, everything sinks back in. Inhale to expand through your ribs. And exhale to release. And then finally, breathe into your upper chest. So keep your belly kind of quiet. And inhale, breathe into your upper chest. And exhale to release. It seems my cat wants to be part of our yoga practice too. Inhale into your upper chest. And one more breath like that one. And now, when you inhale, breathe into your whole torso. Belly, side ribs, upper chest, expand like a balloon. Everything lifts, and then exhale, everything sinks back in. 2 more breaths just like that. And once you're done with that last breath there, bring your knees together, and if you're using blocks, remove your blocks, and then roll over onto one side, and then help yourself up. And let's come on up. Take your blanket off of your mat if you used one. And then before we go on, I'd like you to turn your mat sideways so that the long edge of your mat is parallel to your front wall. So please do that. We'll keep our mats in that direction for the whole class. So for this next part, you don't need any props. So start on all fours with your wrists underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. And post. And what I mean by post is press your hands strongly into the floor, straighten your arms, lift your chest away from your hands. And then lift your tail up and lift your chin up. Broaden your collarbones wide and come to a cow tilt. So you should have a concave back here. And then bring your sit bones back into your heels and sit down as best you can. If your heels don't reach, if your sit bones don't reach your heels, just do the best you can. And walk your fingertips forward as far as you can. Be up on your fingertips. Then bring your head between your two arms. So this is child's pose. And then press your palms to the floor, but keep your hands right where they are. Inhale, come on up to all fours, tuck your toes under, and then exhale to downward facing dog. And we're not going to stay. This is just our first dog of the class. Inhale, come back to all fours and lift your chin and your tail for dog tilt. Exhale, come back to child's pose. Arms are straight, spine is long. Inhale, come on up to all fours. Exhale to downward facing dog. So let's stay a little bit longer here. The idea is to post your arms by pressing your hands strongly into the mat. Straighten your arms and lift your weight back into your legs, into your heels. Inhale, back to all fours, back to cow tilt. Exhale to child's pose. Keep trying to press those sit bones down to your heels. Inhale up to all fours. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Now this time, draw your chin up into your chest a little bit. Squeeze your thighs behind you and try to sink those heels a little bit closer to the floor. Keep posting through your hands, through your arms, so that your weight pulls back into your hips. Then let's go again. Inhale to cow. Exhale to child. Inhale to all fours. Exhale to downward facing dog. All right, so let's stay. Let's try to get a little more comfortable in this pose. Take an inhale, and then exhale, lean your weight back into your heels. Press the fronts of your thighs back. And another nice, deep, long breath. Inhale. And then exhale, press your thighs back, press your heels down, draw the belly in. Good, and then inhale, knees back to the floor. And then turn to face the front, so you're facing me. And come on up to your knees. Take your right foot out to the side and line your right heel pretty much to the front edge of your right knee. So this is a variation of Parigasana, or gate pose. So try to lean that right knee back in the direction of your pinky toe. And then belly is in. Inhale, lift your arms straight up. Reach your shoulders up, lift up through your spine, but look straight ahead. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, lower your arms down to the sides and roll your shoulders down away from your ears and strongly reach your arms out to the side walls. Left hand to left waist. Do a little hip tip, reaching to your right, and then take your forearm down on your thigh. Good. Draw the abdominals in. And then take your left hand around your rib cage and try to roll your rib cage forward. So this is like a technique that we can use to open the chest, to revolve the chest, and open even more. And then take your left arm straight up, reach your wrist away from your knee. Inhale again, and then exhale, reach that arm up and over. Sharpen that arm. Even think in terms of rolling that left armpit open. All the while keeping your abdominals in, belly is firm. Good. Inhale, come back out. Exhale, lower your arms, lower your knee. And then take your left foot out. And again, align your knee to your left heel to your right knee. And encourage that left knee to lean back toward your pinky toe side of your foot. Inhale, bring your arms straight up. Lift the shoulders. And not only lift the shoulders, but think in terms of lifting the shoulder blades. So from the back side of your body, everything lifts. That helps the spine to get taller. Take an inhale, and then exhale, arms out to the sides. Reach strongly as you roll your shoulders down away from your ears. And again, I'm reminding you, you draw your abdominals in and lift. Right hand to your right waist. Take an inhale. Exhale, reach over, rest your left forearm down on your thigh and rotate your chest open. Take your right hand around your rib cage and assist yourself. If you had a yoga teacher, she might try to turn you a little bit more, but now you can do it for yourself. Take your right arm straight up, reach up, inhale. Exhale, reach all the way up and over. Feel the connection between your right fingertips and your right knee. See if you can roll your right armpit open even more. Inhale, let's come on out. Exhale, lower your arms and lower your knee. So let's do a different version of Purusharthasana, and this time with a straight leg. So take that right foot out, straighten your leg, and again, it's heel to knee alignment, and then pump the foot up and down, and you'll find that the thigh gets a little bit of action here. It engages the muscles and warms them up. And then push your foot down to the floor. Lift through your chest again. Inhale, arms up over your head. Lift taller, taller, taller. Exhale, arms are down by your sides. Now, left hand to left waist. Take an inhale. Exhale, do hip tip and reach. And float your right hand down to your leg. And then turn your right palm to face upward. Turn the torso open. Take your left arm straight up. Reach your two arms away from each other. Inhale here. Exhale, reach up and over. So when your leg is straight, a much different feeling than when your knee is bent than the first time. Roll that left armpit open. Good. All right. Inhale, come on back up. Exhale, lower your arms. Now this time, lower your left hand down to the floor. And align your left wrist right under your shoulder at first. And then move your left hand further away from you by about an inch or two. And then once again, turn your chest open. That right foot is going to drag in just a little bit. And then take your right arm straight up. And then lift your right leg up and bend your ankle and press your heel to the far wall. So this, in this pose, we need to use the abs to really stabilize us. This strengthens the hips because we're using the muscles to lift that heavy leg and to keep it lifted. And let's challenge ourselves a little bit more by reaching that arm all the way up and over. Push your heel away from you. Turn the chest open. Abdominals are doing the work. Take an inhale. Exhale and release. Sit back on your heels for a moment and just notice how you feel. All right, time to do it on the other side. Half done, cup half full. Take your left foot out. Align heel to knee. And then pump that foot up and down, back and forth. And then push your foot down. Turn your chest open. Inhale, arms up. Lift up higher. Lift up through the shoulder blades. Press that left foot down. Squeeze the left thigh muscles into the thigh bones. Inhale. Exhale. Arms down. Take an inhale. Exhale. Reach over that left leg as far as you can go. Float your hand down. And then flip your palm upward. And revolve the chest open. Take your right arm straight up. Two arms reach away from each other. Feel the beautiful expansiveness, the space that you create here. And then take your right arm and angle it all the way up and over. Roll that right armpit over. Abdominals need to be firmed in here to support your low back. All right, inhale, come on back up. Exhale and lower down. All right, and then the other side. Take your right hand down to the floor, wrist underneath your shoulder at first. Step your hand out and away from you a little bit. Left leg stretches out and turn your chest open. So again, post. Right hand presses down, straighten your right arm. Lift your shoulder away from your hand. So we want to avoid collapsing down into the shoulder. Left arm comes up. Reach those two arms away from each other like gigantic wings. And then lift your left leg up and bend your ankle and spear that heel to the back wall. Keep posting through your right arm. Reach up with your left arm. All right, take an inhale. Exhale, reach that arm up and over. Stabilizing here as you're turning your chest open. Abdominals are drawn in. Little muscles in the hip sockets are working hard here. One more deep breath. Exhale and release. And rest for just a moment by sitting back on your heels. Rest your hands into your lap. Close your eyes for a moment and allow yourself to feel whatever sensations are present. And then open your eyes. Okay, so turn toward the side wall, so we're all turning the same way. Come to all fours. We'll prepare for dog pose. Have your hands a little wider than shoulder distance apart and step your hands forward about a handprint. Spread your fingers wide. Inhale here, and then exhale, lift your hips and come to down dog. So for this down dog, we'll make a small change. Step your feet wide apart. So the outer edges of your feet are pretty much at the side edges of your mat. Do your very best to straighten your legs, spear back into your heels. And now let's do a twisted dog. So take your right hand to your left leg, to the outside of your leg, and then see if you can slide that hand down in the direction of your ankle and rotate your chest, rotate your torso open. This is an inverted twist. It's quite a gorgeous twist, I think. Really good for your hair. Gently shake your head, yes. And then shake your head, no. All right, return your left hand to your mat for down dog. Let's do the other side. Take the other hand to the other leg. Hold on. Slide that hand down your leg toward your ankle as far as you can go. And then turn to the other side. Draw the abdominals in. Press your heels down. Press the fronts of your thighs back. A lot of actions going on here, right? All right, take an inhale. And then exhale, put your right hand back down on the floor. And then walk your hands toward your feet and your feet more toward your hands. And then take your hands up on your shins. Let your feet be about hip distance apart. Half forward bend. It's called Ardha Uttanasana. So you lift your tailbone up, you lift your chin up, broaden your collarbones, and in this case you relax your belly. Belly is soft. Slide your hands down your legs to the floor for a forward bend. If your hands can reach the floor while keeping your legs straight, that's fine. But if you need to bend your knees to reach the floor, then take your hands up on your legs instead, but keep your legs straight. Okay, then take your hands to your waist and squeeze your elbows back behind you. And inhale, slowly lift and rise. And come on up to standing. And then turn to face the front. Tadasana, feet hip distance apart. This is one of the most basic poses in yoga, and actually one of the most useful. Take your weight back into your heels. Pick up your toe pads, spread your toes wide, and then put your toe pads back down. Try to have a certain degree of openness and softness in your feet. Contract your quads, your quadriceps, and squeeze the muscles to your thigh bones and press your thighs back. Draw your low abdominals in, and as if you had a belly zipper from the pelvic floor to the sternum, you're going to pull in and lift up, and that helps to lift your spine too. And allow your shoulders to descend down away from your ears. Standing mountain pose. So inhale, bring your arms up over your head. So again, hike the shoulders up. Go ahead, lift the shoulder blades. Take an inhale, and then exhale, bend your knees and sit back into chair pose. I'm going to turn sideways. You can still just face front. So the idea here is to try to get your sit bones back behind you more, and to draw the abdominals in, and to lift the chest up. See if you can get your biceps close to your ears. I find this a really challenging pose because it's not so very comfortable. It works the legs so much, and it lifts the spine. So now take an inhale. Exhale, forward bend, just like we practiced. Inhale, come halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward bend, Uttanasana. Now to come up, bend your knees, inhale, come back up to chair pose, Utkatasana. Roll the buttocks down, pull the low rib cage in, lift the ribs away from the waist, lift the spine. See if you can sit back a little bit deeper, all the while lifting your spine in this pose. Take an inhale, lift all the way up to standing. Exhale, lower your arms down. And return back to Tadasana. And once again, before we continue, just notice how you feel. Maybe that's the most important thing of all. So for the next thing, if you have blocks, have your blocks close by. In general, just have them close by on your mat so that if you ever need them, they're within arm's reach. Stand in the middle of your mat, hands to your collarbones. Inhale, exhale, step or hop your feet wide apart. And measure the distance by pointing your fingertips down, align your ankles underneath your fingertips, and then float your arms down. So this first pose here is goddess pose. So turn your toes outward. So it's up to you actually exactly where you put your feet, and you'll figure this out as you go through the pose. Inhale, bring your arms straight up over your head, and again, lift up. Exhale, bend your knees out to the sides and goal post your arms. Strong arms. Inhale, come on up. Exhale. Strong work for legs and hips. Inhale, come on up, taller. Exhale. Maybe you can come down a little bit deeper. If your knees hurt, don't. Inhale up. Exhale. One more time. Get a little taller. Exhale to goddess pose. This time, let's stay a little bit longer. So point your tailbone straight down. Draw your abdominals in. Lift your chest. Relax your feet. Relax your toes. All right, inhale, come on up. And then exhale, lower your arms down. So let's keep our feet out wide. And we'll transition right to the next pose, which is Prasarita Padottanasana. And that's a straddle leg forward bend. So now turn your toes forward. And take your hands to your waist and squeeze your elbows back. Sharpen your legs by straightening them. Contract your quads. Press your quads back into your thigh bones. And then lift the bottom tip of your sternum up as your shoulders open up. Good. You can gaze up at the ceiling here. And then inhale, come back up tall. And then exhale, hinge forward from your hip sockets. Nice straight spine. And then put your fingertips on the floor. So you may need to use blocks here. If you find the floor is too far and you have to bend your knees to put your hands there, then by all means use your blocks and put your hands on blocks. But if you don't need the blocks, that's fine too. So in this pose, straighten your arms, lift your chest, broaden your collarbones, really charge through your heels. Do your very best to have nice, straight, sharp legs. And then keeping your legs straight, walk your hands back in alignment between your 2 feet if you can. So your hands are actually back, and you're going to bring your chest forward, lift your chin, lift your tail. It's a little bit like a cow tilt, but we're keeping the thighs really active here. Now let's go on to a transverse lunge. So you can bend your knees for this one. Walk your hands over to the inside of your left foot. You may need to be on blocks or up on your fingertips. You may be able to put the palms straight down on the floor. Try to get your elbow in and your knee to lean against each other so you can traction that hip socket, and then turn your chest forward. Straighten your right leg as best you can and really hug the outer edge of your right foot down. All right, let's come back to the center. Your hands are still back, aligned between your 2 feet. And then bend your right knee. You can turn those toes out. You can move your foot any way that you need to so that your knee is comfortable. And try to get that arm and the leg to press against each other. So we're tractioning that hip socket. Turn your chest forward as you lengthen through your spine. Left leg stays straight as you hug into the outer edge of your left foot. Good. Let's come back to center. I'd like to do that one more time. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. So resist, jamming your leg against each other. But rather than turning your chest to the side wall, you're going to try to square your shoulders forward, and you're going to feel it so much in that hip socket. It'll make your hip really juicy. And then walk your hands back to the center and walk your hands all the way over to the right side. and resist. And square your shoulders forward. Yeah. Take another inhale. Exhale, walk your hands back to center. And then heel toe, your feet a little closer and toward each other. Come on up to your fingertips with your hands right underneath your shoulders. And then take your hands to your waist and squeeze the elbows back behind you. So, with straight legs and a long, straight spine. Inhale, slowly come on up to standing. And then inhale, step or hop, your feet together. Bring your arms down by your sides for Tadasana. Close your eyes for a moment. Allow yourself to be where you are. Don't cheat yourself of a few moments to really explore the sensations that are present. All right, so now let's do Vrikshasana, which is tree pose, standing balance. Put your weight into your left foot. And then relax your standing. Your left foot at first will be your standing foot. So relax your foot, let your toes kind of reach out, and then squeeze your left quad into the thigh bone. Lift the thigh up, pull your outer left hip in. Pick up your right knee, turn it outward, and put your heel to the top of your thigh if possible. If your foot is up there on your thigh, press the thigh and the foot strongly into each other. It's like an isometric contraction. And then draw that outer hip in even more. And to get more work into the hip socket, roll that right knee down. Take your hands to your heart, lift tall, lift your spine, and then find your drishti, your gaze, and lift your arms up. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then softly lower your hands down to your heart and release your foot to the floor. Shake it out of your standing leg. Okay, so I demoed on my good side. Here I go for my challenging side. Put your weight into your right foot. Relax your foot. Charge up your right thigh. Draw your outer right hip in. Abdominals are awake. Pick up your left knee, turn your knee out to the side. Foot comes to your upper thigh or lower down on your leg. Press your foot and your thigh in toward each other. See if you can roll that left knee down toward the floor. Find the gazing point. And then take your arms all the way up over your head. Here we go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale, float those hands down. Release your foot down. And shake it out of your right leg. So we're taught in yoga to be non-judgmental. So it's not a matter of, oh, I'm really good at this, or I'm really not very good at that. It's just accept your practice for what it is for that day. It doesn't matter if it's a perfect pose or not. It's not relevant to your practice at all. All right, from the middle of your mat now, let's go to Warrior 2. It's called Virabhadrasana 2. Hands to your collarbones. Inhale. Exhale, stepper. Hop your feet wide. And again, you're going to measure ankles underneath fingertips and then lower your arms down. So turn that right thigh out and turn your right toes out. Hook your left foot in about 20 degrees. So if you have a smaller hip structure, you need to align your right heel to the middle of your left arch. Otherwise, you can actually step your right foot back a little bit and align heel to heel. Those two options are just fine. Turn your chest open to the front wall. Take your arms up over your head again. So notice that when we lift our arms, we want to lift the shoulders. We want to lift the shoulder blades. We want more height in the spine. Charge up your legs. Be strong with your thighs. Engage your abs. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee and come to Warrior 2. And see that, make sure that your knee is over your ankle. All right, inhale, arms up. Let's breathe through this one. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Doesn't it feel good to do a pose in a dynamic way? Use your breath. One more. Get taller. Exhale. Now let's stay here. Maybe you can get lower. Maybe you can lower that pelvis down a little bit more. Try to lean that right knee back in the direction of your pinky toe. And then really hug your way into the outer edge of that back foot. Your left foot. So press back. Lift the chest. Turn your head to gaze out over the middle finger of your right hand. Warrior two pose, a strong, active pose. Both thighs are active. Thigh muscles squeezing into the thigh bones. Good. Inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, lower your arms. Soften your knees by bending a little. And then turn your toes straight ahead. Second side. Turn your left thigh out. Turn your left toes out. Hook your right foot in. Align your feet, heel to arch or heel to heel. And you may not know which one is better, so you might actually experiment and try both. All right, turn your shoulders forward. Inhale, arms up. Reach up tall. Biceps are by ears. Legs are straight at first. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. Get taller. Grow up from your feet. Exhale. Sink down lower if you can. You can even turn your head as you bend your knee. Inhale. And exhale. Let's keep going. Feels too good to stop. One more. Taller. Exhale. Lower. Good. Hug into the outer edge of your right heel. Sharpen, straighten that right leg. Lean that left knee back in the direction of your pinky toe. Turn your head, gaze out over the middle finger of your left hand. Abdominals are drawn in. Arms are strong, reaching long. Now be careful you don't curl your toes under and grasp your mat with your toes. Relax your feet, let your toes spread out. All right, here we go. Inhale, lift your arm. Straighten your leg. Lower your arms down. Soften your knees as you turn your toes straight ahead. And then step or hop your feet together. Tadasana again. So let's let our hips rest a little bit before we continue with more hip opening poses by doing this. Bend your knees. I'm going to turn sideways, but you can face front here. So bend your knees as if you were going to do a chair pose. And bring your hips back behind you. Have your feet about hip distance apart. And then fold over. Do your best to get your torso resting down on your thighs. And then you're going to pick your toes up and slip your hand underneath, one hand underneath each foot. And do the best you can here and try to have your hand under so far, your palms should be facing up. Have your hand under so far that your toes are touching the inner wrist if possible. Straighten your arms and then take an inhale. And then exhale, straighten your legs as best you can. There's a great pull here. Inhale to bend, squat a little lower. Exhale, straighten your legs. Lift your tail, lower your head. Inhale, bend knees, squat a little bit lower. Exhale. All right, one more time. Inhale. And then exhale. So let's stay here and breathe. Press down into your hands through your feet. Lift your tail, lower your head. Straighten your arms any amount you can. Good. Pick up your toes, slip your hands out. Take your hands to your waist, squeeze your elbows back behind you, and then inhale, slowly lift and rise. Slowly, of course, and come on up to standing. You wouldn't want to come up quickly. Come back to Tadasana. How do you feel? All right, Trikonasana is triangle pose. So today we're doing a lot of standard poses, but really focusing on the work of the legs, the hips, belly. Hands to your collarbones. Inhale. Exhale once again, step or hop. And measure. And lower your arms. Turn the right thigh and right toes out. Hook your left foot in. Heel to arch or heel to heel alignment here. And then turn your chest open. And then use your right hand like it's a tiger mouth. I call that a tiger mouth. So you're going to keep your right leg straight. And cut that hand right into your hip crease. So it's right below the hip bone there. Keep your chest rotated open to the front. Take an inhale, and then exhale, hip to hip, as you glide your pelvis over your open hand. And then inhale, come on up. Keep the legs short and straight, both of them. Exhale. Now explore your range of motion here. See if you can hinge over a little bit further each time. Inhale. And exhale. This is lateral flexion for your hip socket. Inhale up. I find if I do this several times, it really opens up those muscles, lengthens the muscles quite a bit. Okay, so now come on up. Take your right arm out. Let's go for the pose. Inhale. Exhale. Do the same gliding over the hip tip. Keep both legs straight. Float your hand down. Please take your hand to the back side of your calf and rotate your chest open. Take your left hand around your rib cage, around the side there, and pull the ribs forward. That helps your whole torso to rotate. Contract your quadriceps. Draw the quads up towards your hip sockets, but press both heels down. Now, rather than to lift your left arm up for this pose, which is classic, take your left arm and wrap it around the back of your waist. And try to cup your hand over the top of your thigh. So if you have a long enough arm and you're flexible, you might be able to reach, but if not, that's okay too. Keep pressing into your left heel. Draw the quads up. Rotate that chest open. So you can look up at the ceiling if that feels good, or you could look straight ahead. All right, let's come on up. Inhale. And then exhale, lower down. Soften your knees. Let's go for the other side now. Turn your left thigh, your left toes out. Hook your right foot in. Heel to arch or heel to heel alignment. And then turn your chest to the front. Sharpen your legs like your legs were iron rods. Heels press down, quads draw in and pull up. Tiger mouth with your left hand. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, big hip tip, and don't be in a rush. You know, sometimes when you start it, you might feel kind of stuck, and then as you lean into it, you find, oh, you can find some more space. And then inhale up. Exhale. Breathe with it, and then inhale up. And exhale. So we're kind of exploring, seeing with the range of motion. So your second hip is different than your first hip. Inhale up. Let's go one more time. As you lean, you're going to press more strongly into the opposite foot, in this case, the right foot. And come on up. All right, here we go. Left arm out. Legs sharp and straight, drilling down into the heels. Inhale, exhale, reach, lean, reach, and then float your hand down to your leg. Take your hand to the back of your calf. Take your right hand around the ribs and then assist your turn. Yeah, press it to the outer edge of your right heel. Chest is really open. Take that right arm and wrap it around your waist and cup your hand over your thigh. One of the reasons why I like this variation is it really helps that right shoulder to roll open and roll back. Broaden your collarbones. Now, sometimes in this pose, we have a habit of kind of leaning the head forward. So take your chest and your head and actually lean them back a little bit. Keep pressing your heels down into the floor. Drishti could be straight ahead or gazing up toward the ceiling. All right, time to come up. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, float your arms down. Soften your knees, point your toes straight ahead, and then step or hop your feet together. And come back to standing mountain pose, Tadasana. All right, one more standing pose, and this is side angle. It's called Utthita Parshvakonasana. And if you have blocks, I think this is a very good one for to have your blocks at the back end of your mat, back edge of your mat. All right, last time here. Inhale. Exhale, step or hop your feet wide. And measure. And turn your right thigh, right toes out, and hook your left foot in. Align your feet. So, Square to the front, bring your arms up, inhale. Exhale to warrior two first. So here's what's important. Keep your knee cap right over your ankle and keep your left leg straight. Try to lean your knee back towards your pinky toe. Now reach the right arm out, just like triangle pose, except now we're going to take the forearm down on the thigh. And you're going to roll the chest open, just like we've been practicing. So find your block, if you have one. I recommend a block, and put it to the back side of your heel. If this is too much, you could keep your forearm up on your thigh. If you have a longer reach, you could lower your block, or you could put your fingertips on the floor. Roll that right buttock under, lean that right knee back, so we're really working into the hips, but I want you to protect your hip sockets by contracting your quad. Contract your abs, draw your abs in, so these muscles support your hip socket. Point your left fingertips down, and then as you inhale, circle that arm, quarter circle around and reach. And turn the ribs open. Drill into the outer edge of your left heel. For this one, you could look straight ahead, or you could turn your gaze up toward the ceiling from the inside of your upper arm. Inhale, come on up to warrior two, keeping your knee bent. Exhale, lower your arms down, and then point your toes straight ahead. Let's go right to the other side. Left thigh out, left toes out. Hook that right foot in. Take your arms up, square your shoulders to the front. Inhale, exhale, warrior two. Remember, it's really important because we're holding the pose, sustaining the pose for a while, it is important for that knee to stay over the ankle there to protect your knee. Lean your knee back in the direction of your pinky toe. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, reach to the side wall. Take your forearm to your thigh, revolve your chest open, and then you may put your hand down toward the floor on a block or without a block. So when we get lower into the pose, it's very typical to get a little bit floppy in the right leg. So you've got to charge your right thigh back. Almost feel like you're going to roll your right thigh outward as you press into your heel. Let's add the upper arm. Inhale, sweep that arm around and up. Roll the armpit open. Feel that gorgeous connection between your right wrist and your outer right foot. Keep leaning. If your hand's on the floor or on a block, you can lean your arm and your leg against each other. There's that traction of the hip socket there. All right, time to come on up. Inhale. Exhale, float your arms down. Straighten your leg. Turn your toes forward. Inhale. Exhale, step or hop your feet together. And come back to Tadasana. Before we continue, once again, you can close your eyes for a moment. Notice what your body is telling you. And then open your eyes. So you might need blocks for this next one. If you have them, put them to the end of your mat, like I'm showing you. And then walk up to that end of the mat. So we're all going to be facing that side wall there. Have your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, arms up over your head. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. And exhale, step the leg back that's closer to me. Put your hands on the floor. And come to a runner's lunge. So you're up on your fingertips here. And straighten that back leg and press the heel back. Broaden your collarbones wide. And then lower your knee and the top of your foot down. So we're coming to a lunge here, Anjaneyasana. And if you find that your kneecap is sensitive, by all means you can put a blanket underneath your kneecap. So sweep your arms forward and bring your arms upward. So now this is the first pose of this class where we're really working into the psoas muscle. So important. So try to press into the top of your right pinky toe. Draw your right hip forward, draw your abs in and lift, and lean back just a little bit. So the psoas muscle really wakes up. Take an inhale, and then exhale, lower your hands to the floor. So this is where you may want to put your hands on blocks. It looks like this. Take an inhale, And then exhale, straighten your leg and pull your toes back. So you're gonna lean over that front leg to get a really great calf and hamstring stretch. Inhale to release. So if you put your hands on blocks, if your arms are a little bit short or your leg is a little bit long, blocks can really help here. So either way is just fine. I'm doing it both ways. It really depends on how long your legs are and how long your arms are in terms of whether or not you need to use blocks. So let's do it one more time. Straightening the leg, and then see if you can maybe hinge over a little bit more. Maybe bring your face a little bit toward the inside of that front leg. All right, bend that front knee, put your hands on the floor, and let's step it back to downward facing dog. Let's go right to the other side. Inhale, look forward to your hands. Exhale, step that other foot up and come to your runner's lunge. You're up on your fingertips, arms are straight, charge through that back leg. Try to lift the back of the knee up away from the floor as your abdominals draw in. And then lower your knee down, lower the top of your foot down, pad your knee if that helps. Lift your chest and then inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. Good. Draw your left pelvic rim forward, pressing more into the top of your left pinky toe. Abdominals pull in and lift. You can add a back bend here. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands come back down to the floor. Hands may be on the floor or use blocks. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten your front leg, pull your toes back, and sink your hips back. So you'll feel it in your hamstrings. You might even feel it in your hip. Feel it everywhere. Inhale. And exhale. Draw the abdominals in as you fold. Inhale. Exhale. I hope you're having a good time. Are you having a good time? I'm having a good time. Exhale, and I miss you. And fold over. Let's go for one more. Here we go. Inhale. And exhale this time. Oh, maybe we can fold over a little more. If there's any pain or you feel like it's too strong, you should back out a little bit. Otherwise, enjoy it. All right, come on back up with a knee bend. Now step yourself back to downward facing dog. Let's come back to symmetry. And then lower your knees down to the floor. Good. And now let's face each other again. If you have a blanket, sit on your blanket. I'm not sure we'll use the strap, but just in case, have the strap close by too. And then take the legs out to the front. So this pose is called Dandasana. And draw the legs together. Squeeze them in toward each other. Take your fingertips on the floor behind you. Turn your palms forward. So, again, what does that do? That broadens the chest. And then take your legs out to the sides for Upavishta Konasana. The challenge here usually is to keep the toes pointing straight up, keep the centers of the thighs pointing straight up, and to lift the chest. And then without touching your legs, bring the soles of your feet together. So we're using the muscles in your hip sockets here to move the legs and strongly press the soles of your feet in toward each other as you reach the inner thighs out to the sides. Keep your chest lifted. Take your legs back out to the front. Clamp those thighs in toward each other. Roll them in toward each other. Flare your toes wide and press the bum mounds and the heels outward. Take an inhale. Exhale. Take your legs wide. Toes point straight up. Abdominals in. Chest is lifted. No hunching the upper back here. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring the soles of your feet together again. And maybe you can even get those heels a little bit closer in. Keep lifting the chest. Strongly press the soles of your feet in toward each other. That's like an isometric contraction there. And that really helps to open up the groins and the hip sockets. And then take your legs out to the front. Bend your right knee and bring your heel close in towards your sit bone. Keep your left leg forward and straight. Take your left hand behind you and wedge your right elbow to the inside of your knee. And resist your arm and your leg against each other. Don't let that bossy elbow push your knee out. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, twist open to your left. Revolve your spine open. Abdominals hug in and lift. Lift from your rib cage, or turn, from your rib cage. Turn your head to gaze back over your shoulder. Take an inhale here. Exhale, and then come on back out. Right other leg. Lift the knee. Scoot the heel in. Straighten the other leg. Charge it up. Take your hand behind you. Elbow to knee. So before you twist, get this action. Nice, strong action. Pelvis is squared. Resist arm and leg against each other. Spine is lifted tall. Stay here and just enjoy this part of the pose. Take an inhale, and then exhale, twist open to your right. And you can feel how the abdominals really start to work a little bit here. And rotate the torso open. You may turn your head to gaze out over your right shoulder. Take an inhale, exhale, and then come on back out and face the front. Legs out to the front. So come off of your blanket, and you will come on down to the back side. You may put the blanket underneath your head if you like. Not necessary though. So have your knees bent with your arms out to the sides. What we're doing next is a variation of Jatara Parivartanasana. It kind of translates to something like turn the jar pose. And the jar is your torso. Bring your knees into your chest and clamp your legs in toward each other. Hug your low back into the mat. Take an inhale, and then exhale, roll both of your knees over to the right and try to really press your knees in toward each other and bring your knees to the floor if possible. If your knees don't reach the floor, it's okay. Your abdominals are drawing in, but you're really pressing those thighs in toward each other. Inhale, come back up, and you're hugging your knees close to your body here. And then as you exhale, you're going to take it over to the other side. You're trying to keep your shoulder blades on the floor. Inhale, come back to center. Remember your legs are trying to stay close in. Exhale over to the right side. And the deeper you twist, the more you need to keep your abs drawn in. Inhale, come on back up. And then exhale all the way over to the left side. And back to center. So this would be the more mild version of Jatara. So I'll give you a more advanced version. Your legs should be up straight. You're going to clamp your legs in toward each other. Heels are together. So now we're going to keep our legs straight. Take an inhale. Exhale. Try to get both feet over to your right thumb. Now if this is too much, or if it doesn't feel good for your back, repeat the pose that we just did with the knees bent. Before you lift your legs, draw your abs in. Inhale, lift your legs straight up. Clamp your legs in toward each other. Exhale, take your legs all the way over to the left side. See if you can actually reach your hand, your fingers with your feet. Engage your abs. Inhale, bring those heavy legs back up. Exhale all the way over to the right side. So you find that your legs are actually angled up rather than directly out to the side. Inhale, legs back up. See, I saved the best for last. Exhale, legs all the way over to your left. Reach out through your heels. Press the shoulder blades down. Inhale, legs back up. Now I'd like to do it one more time. This time we'll stay a little bit longer. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, legs all the way to the right. Now, if you can reach, you can use your yogi toe hold, your index finger and middle finger, and wrap them around your big toes. This is classic. As you spread your arms wide, legs are straight, chest is turned upward. And then release your toes if you've got them. Engage your abs especially well. Inhale, legs up. And then finally, last one. Exhale, legs all the way over to your left. Grasp your big toes if you can manage to do that. Really press your right shoulder blade down. Press your legs in toward each other. Press away through your heels. All right, bring the legs up. Oh, that was good. And then exhale, lower your feet to the mat. And relax your arms down by your sides. So cross your right ankle over your left leg. And press your right knee away from you. Try to get your shin parallel to the wall, the far wall. And then pick your left foot up off the floor. Take your hands behind your thigh and draw the leg in. See if you can take your right elbow, or your elbow, and press it into the inner knee there. And in that way, you kind of, if you press, you traction the hip there and draw your legs in. So now we get the rotator cuff of the right hip socket here. Really, really strong stretch. We're told that this is a really good remedy for some cases of sciatica. Really releases pressure on the piriformis muscle. Maybe you can bring your legs in a little bit deeper. In this pose, I usually find if I allow myself to hold it a little bit longer, starts getting very interesting. Take an inhale, and then exhale, undo. All right, other side. Lean the knee away from you. Try to level the shin. Pick up your right foot and draw the leg in, keeping the shin level. Maybe you can get that elbow to the inner knee there and get a little extra action there. That's just an option, of course. But as you stay here and breathe, you're just gently suggesting to pull the legs in a little bit deeper. All the while trying to push that knee, that bent knee, out and away from you to keep the shin level. You feel it? It's probably quite strong. Stay for another couple breaths. All right, and release. And then before we close, just take your legs straight up. Put your hands to the sides of your thighs or hips, and then take your legs wide. Have your hands here so that you can support your hips as you take your feet really wide and press out through your heels. Bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet together. Hug your heels in toward your body. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, legs up straight. Hands to the other legs here. When you exhale, take your legs out. Maybe you can open them a little bit wider. And then bring the soles of your feet together. Draw your heels in. And finally, let's do happy baby pose. With your knees bent, point the soles of your feet straight up. Widen your feet apart. And you can actually pump one side and then the other, like I'm showing you here, one at a time. That releases the low back a little bit. And then push both feet down. Look straight up. Now bring your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Gently rock side to side. This is beautiful massage for the sacral area. All right, now bring your feet to the floor. And then straighten one leg out onto the floor. And then the other leg out for Shavasana. If your back is a little bit tender, instead of straightening your legs, you might want to lean your knees in toward each other with your feet apart. We call this constructive resting pose. So either knees bent or legs straight. Allow your body to soften and to sink into your mat. Allow the thighs to roll open if your legs are straight and your feet to tip away from each other. Allow your hands, your palms, your fingers to be soft. Please close your eyes. And I have a reading for you, and this is something I found that's so relevant for what's going on for us these days. And this was written in 1869 during the Spanish flu. Let me read it. And people stayed home and read books and listened, and they rested, and they did exercises, and they made art and played and learned new ways of being and stopped and listened more deeply. Someone meditated, someone prayed, someone met their shadow, and people began to think differently, and people healed. And in the absence of people who lived in ignorant ways, dangerous, meaningless, and heartless, the earth also began to heal. And when the danger ended and people found themselves, they grieved for the dead and made new choices and dreamed of new visions and created new ways of living and completely healed the earth just as they were healed. That is written by Kathleen O'Meara in 1869. Take a big inhale and a long, slow exhalation. And then draw your knees in towards your chest and then roll over onto one side into fetal pose. And then use your hands to slowly push your way up and lift your head up last, being careful not to strain your neck in any way. And come on up to seated. And bring your hands together at your heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad that we're on this yoga path together. The divine in me salutes the divine in you. Namaste.